All right, thank you for being here today. I'm going to be doing a class about ladders and the parts and maintenance of them. Please excuse the functionality of it today due to technology and issues with it and my issues with it. Attempted multiple times to give you a better presentation. I do have it here on my laptop, but maybe a little difficult to see. I'll do my best to kind of move it around. First things first, my name's Eric. Dee and I have been with Sweetwater Fire Department for 7 to 8 years now. I've had some hands-on training. I've used these ladders in fires, of course, and this would be my first time to really give a class about it. But like I said, with all fire department jobs, you have to use and know how to properly maintain, clean, and everything like that, these ladders. So first things first is, what is the purpose of a ladder? Why do we need to kind of know about this information? Vertical path between grades of floors, for vertical ventilation, paths of egress if, let's say the fire is getting out of hand, stuff like that. Many reasons. Rescue as well. You can use it to get a patient out of a burning building. So it's important to know the tools that we have in order to be successful in these high stress situations, right? That way we're not just going into it blindly. Know the tools you have and things you can use in order to get the best outcome and make your job a little easier, okay? Like I said, first thing will be is parts. Some of the parts we're going to be going over is it kind of differs depending on the types of ladder, of course. Now this is just a single story ladder, as we would call it, and you're going to first see the outside members, which are going to be the posts. Then you'll have the the beams. Then you have the rungs, which are basically where your hands and feet will go onto. The butt, heel, base, everything. That's going to be the metal part that kind of sits on the ground while you are on it or setting up the ladder. It's going to help maintain its position and kind of dig in there so it's not just moving around and stuff like that. And lastly, it would be, depending on the type of ladder, you will have the tip hooks. If it's a roof ladder, of course, which is also a single story ladder, it will have the hooks that you will pull off so that you can hook into the top of the ceiling or the roof. That way, again, it's all to keep stable so that if you're needing to get up, you're not having to worry about your ladder falling or moving while doing a job, correct? So those are some of the minor ones that you will have to do or kind of know. Things, it'll get a little bit more in detail with the bigger types of ladder, which, like I said, there are multiple kinds, especially for us. Those elements of it will also kind of apply to, you call attic ladders, which are foldable, collapsible ones that are really utilized to get into a crawl space in the ceiling. All right. Yeah. So that is one part of it. Now we'll get into kind of more of your extension ladders, which are just depending on the size of the buildings that you may be going into. You will have either a 24 to 36 foot ladder, which will have, as it sounds, an extension, which will be on basically the same things. We'll have the beams. You'll also have a bed, main section, which is going to be the flattest one. That's the section that will not move. That's going to have the rails for it to go up, down when you're doing it. Now, in order to do that, you will have a halyard. Now, that's important to know because that's how you're going to pull the ladder up while you have it hosted up. Now, this is a multiple person job, so as you get into these bigger ladders that have multiple sections in bed, it's not going to really be a one-person job anymore. You'll need to be able to utilize your partner to get it up and then also be able to pull it open. And I already kind of explained the fly section, and then tip is going to be the same, right? They're going to be at the top, but now this time the tip will more likely be on a different section. So whatever, if it's let's say it's a 24, the second section there will have the tip, and that's where you will need to be placing the ladder on the roof. These parts are important to know for the purpose of, is your ladder functioning? Is it working properly? Can I do what I need it to do? Does it have the pieces that it's supposed to have? All these are important to know if this ladder is technically serviceable. Serviceable being, can I use it in action? Can I count on it to do its job under the limitations that it is said to have? So you always want to kind of know these parts. I know they seem like they're the same, but you want to be able to check this as you're looking at the ladder itself, okay? So this quick overview is basically going to be, the first portion of it is the parts. Like I said, there's not many parts really to it, just because, like I said, all ladders are going to kind of have the same thing. Once you kind of have that base foundation of what a ladder should have, needs to have, then you kind of know, okay, does it have this? Yes. Does it have the bed and fly section? Well, then now it's an extension ladder, and with that, knowing that, now you can start looking at, does it have the halyard? Does it have the tip where it should be on which section? Does it have the heels? So these are all things that are going to help with when you're checking, which is going to be the next portion of this course, is the maintenance of it, right? So like I said, we're going to go into ground ladder safety, general care for the ladder, which is going to be, how do you store it? Are you keeping it out of chemicals and stuff like that? It has to be in a dry space, away from the sun, stuff like that. We want to keep it clean. We want to make sure that there's no debris or any sort of remnants of the last fire or the last time you used it. These things can cause it to deteriorate, and once it happens, you know, that ladder is no longer serviceable, which means that it's no longer able to be used because of the safety aspect of it. You're not able to trust it in a sense, or that is it. You're not able to trust it to do its job under these situations that we use it. So you want to make sure that we're maintaining it good. All right, chemical damage. We want to make sure no physical damage. Now, physical damage is it beat up? Is it bent? Did you catch it on something? So those are imperative to also see, just so that we know that it's going to, again, do its job when we need it. Things happen all the time. That's why it should be a normal practice to check these things, especially after fires, when things are going on and there are going to be situations where it's out of your control to keep it safe in a sense. You know, who knows, the fire may be going, your interior, next thing you know, it just gets away from it. We have to get people out. It may get dinged up trying to pull it out. Maybe you don't have time, and that's where thermal damage may happen. Maybe you're, like I said, you're not able to get it out because it got away from you, the fire, and you're getting everyone out. You leave the equipment because life is more important than objects. So now that piece of material, that ladder, is going to be subjected to heat, which it does have a sticker on there that's going to show like a heat index of how much heat it's taken. So something to be aware of, like once it hits that, it's, like I said, it's basically compromised. Even if there looks like there's nothing wrong, if it's shown that it's been in a situation where it's affected to that heat amount, you need to take it out of service. It's no longer serviceable because it's compromised. So chemical, physical, and thermal. three main things to try to keep it away from as far as damage wise. That's going to prolong the life of your ladder. Okay. And again, I do apologize. I'm having to do the maintenance and stuff like that. It's just very difficult. I'm having to kind of do this and stuff like that. So preventive maintenance. It's going to go back to how I kind of said earlier, where you're going to be checking on everything. All right, that's going to involve you actually putting hands on it, pulling it off, making sure that the halyard's still good, the paws and heel are still basically still intact, making sure that if you were to use it, they are able to sink into the ground and do what they need to do as far as locking in. You're going to make sure the rungs are still there. Missing a rung means that, like I said, the way those are built, it's probably no longer mission capable, because it's compromised. That's rung is essential to keep the stability of that ladder, so you got to check those things. You're also gonna be checking for like dirt and grime and stuff like that. That's gonna help maintain the longevity of it. All right, so you're gonna want to do this, check this every time before your shifts. Basically, check it every time before use. The reason why I say before shift is because you never really know what kind of car you're on and call you're gonna get. Best to just check beforehand, so you're not at the scene when you realize, oh man, this is not good. It's broke, or it's melted or something of that sort. So this is kind of preparation to keep it from you being in a situation that you can't use this piece of equipment because you can catch it. You want to make sure we're doing everything proactive, not reactive, right? We're going to have, depending on your department, you may have someone come in, you may send it off. More likely they'll come in and they'll have your ladders inspected by someone that is trained in inspection of the ladders, and they're going to make sure that it is serviceable, everything's working properly, everything is in date. All right. Some of these are subject to overloading, stuff like that. So it's something to be aware of. But so like I said, so those are all kind of things it's going to be. What's going to happen as far as once you kind of get the preventive maintenance going, you're also going to have a what to do when you get it back, right? Once you get back from fire, you know, it's chaotic, all that stuff. That's when you really want to sit down and also again review that, or look at that ladder, see what has happened to it. All right. So many things happen. I know we want to say that ideally everything's working like a well-oiled machine. Everyone knows what's happening here because of the way that command is structured, but sometimes it doesn't work that way. Sometimes maybe you put that ladder up there and I come and do a job that I was assigned to after because you were pulled to do something else. So, you know, after you get back to the station, you really want to pull that ladder back out, check for any sorts of heat damage, chemical damage, physical damage, like we said earlier. Really kind of inspect it. You're also going to want to clean it, so you're going to probably use get a bucket with warm water. Maybe use like a gentle soap. You don't really need to, because you really don't want to kind of expose it to any more chemicals than you have to. You're just going to brusquely like kind of wipe it down, clean it off. Just get all the gunk that we put on it during that fire, get it off of there. All right, that's going to help maintain the longevity of it. So those are things you're going to do. Like I said, you're going to do kind of a quick little inspection or thorough inspection, but you're going to inspect it, make sure, like I said, check for all those damages. And so really what you're getting from this is you really want to make sure that you're doing before, periodically just checking on it, even if you didn't have a call today, and then of course after a fire. So this is just going to be kind of summing up all I've kind of gone over in this sort of duration of this class is just ladders, parts, and maintenance with inspection, which all of those kind of all go together in the sense of knowing your ladder, like what pieces are supposed to be there, how to check it, knowing the parts and what's supposed to be and the size of the ladder, and like should a halyard be there, should this be on it, should it have this bed in there. It's like it's going to really help with when you do your inspection and helping maintain that ladder, which is going to be utilized for a wide variety of different scenarios. So always kind of keep up with that. If you see some sort of like something that's not correct on that, or as far as like what not working the way it should be, or some sort of deficiency, you can write it down, take it out of service. Don't put yourself in a situation where you use a ladder that could potentially fail on you. But other than that, that's all I really have for you today. There's a lot more information we could put into ladders if on another day, where we can go deeper into it, go more into every aspect of the ladder and stuff like that. But I always like to kind of set the foundation of where to start as far as like the smallest pieces, then you start building from there. So now that we know the parts and how to kind of keep it clean and inspect it, now we can kind of go into like, well, what do we utilize it for and stuff like that. So that will be further on. A lot of my information was actually done from the Essential Fire book. So if you want to kind of fact check me, you're more than able to. If there's no other questions, that's going to be it for today. Thank you.